KPIX 5 News begins with a big idea for tiny living. People in the Bay Area ditching sky-high rents for just a couple hundred square feet. Good evening, I'm Alan Martin.
I'm Veronica Dela Cruz. Park Delta Bay is the first legal community of pint-sized homes. It's southeast of Rio Vista along the banks of the San Joaquin River. KPIX 5's Darlene says you might be surprised by the types of people who are deciding to downsize. Da?
Veronica, we have an attorney here and other working professionals at this park. Behind me, 2 of the 4 tiny homes in this community. And the folks who run this place, they claim this is the first and only legal tiny home community in Northern California.
Hi, welcome to Angels Haven.
This tiny home is Haven for Corinne Corley. The Kansas City attorney moved to California 2 months ago.
I wanted to live in a house, and the only way to downsize and live in a house that I could come up with was to live in a tiny house.
This was her house of 25 years.
3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
She has a rare medical condition and moved to be closer to Stanford Hospital, where she's being treated. But buying a house near Palo Alto wasn't an option.
This is my living room and bedroom.
So she spent $38,000 to have this 200-square-foot home built and delivered to Park Delta Bay, a tiny house community 30 minutes east of Antioch.
Tiny living is not for everybody. A lot of people, for example, wouldn't want their whole life exposed. You come into my house, this is where I sleep, that's where I work.
Corinne believes less means more. So does her neighbor, Lola.
Real estate market is pretty crazy out here, so I figured the tiny house was a good solution for me.
The 25-year-old also moved here 2 months ago. Hers is slightly bigger, 26 feet long and 8.5 feet wide, a total of 221 square feet.
Queen-size bed in here, room to store my ukulele.
One of the pioneers of the tiny home movement says real estate prices are forcing cities to now consider tiny homes. Jay Schaefer built his first one in 1999, even wrote a book about it.
And right now I'm building the most affordable, tiniest tiny house I've ever designed or built. It's only 7 feet by 8 feet.
As for Corinne, she says once you go small, you can't go back.
Getting used to living tiny was not that hard.
There are tiny home communities in the Bay Area, but apparently they're not legal. For example, there's one in Alameda. I talked to a resident there. They're actually getting evicted by the city of Alameda because the salvage yard that they're parking at, they don't have a permit for tiny homes. Veronica?